First thing I want to ask is just who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
My name is Vera Paints.
I'm so sorry.
I gotta start.
Okay.
My name is Vera, go by Vera Paints. I have a former life as a business and marketing professional, and I learned that women have an even harder time building a brand because if you ever get married and you have to change your last name, then you have to change your whole brand. So I'm just Vera Paints, and I do all kinds of other art, but I'm Vera Paints. And I'm from California, so I'm here in Reno as part of the problem, but I really love living in Reno. I've been here since 2018. Consider myself partial Nevadan, I guess now. And I am an artist, painter, DJ, designer, cat mom, extraordinaire at not being on time in the morning, and yeah, all around silly gal. So I actually never wanted to get into art. It wasn't until I went to my first Burning Man in 2016, which sounds really stereotypical and awful. But before then, I had only interacted with art on the wall, like at the MoMA and back in the day, and I felt so alienated by what I saw as art and paintings. Not to talk smack on anyone else's art, because it's all meaningful, but I remember seeing this entire floor of single color 9-foot tall mauve paintings and like a piece of toast stuck to a mirror, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't feel represented. I don't understand this place. You can't touch anything. There's nowhere to sit. You're supposed to be quiet. And so that just didn't really resonate with me until I saw art at Burning Man that was interactive and immersive and that you could touch and play with. And the culture there really taught me that we all have a gift to give and contribute, and if we don't give that gift and learn how to master and contribute it, then everyone else misses out on that. It led me to ask, what is my unique gift I can give? And I'd always known I could draw and paint, but I'd never wanted to spend the time to try to learn how to do it. I'd always learned that it was hard and not a way to make money and be a starving poor artist. You know, seeing that art and seeing the murals here in Reno and seeing all the art here in Reno, combined with a breast cancer scare and really having to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Some of my first paintings and surprised myself. So I was like, I guess I gotta learn to do painting and do this art thing. And I've been painting ever since. It allows me to tap into a flow space that I haven't always found necessarily with every art form, but also the creativity is if I'm tapping into a creative creation space, even if it's been building stuff out in the desert or creating immersive spaces like the one we're sitting in, or DJing, or a lot of these other interests I do, it can be a similar flow state, but painting is definitely easiest. Painting is definitely my favorite, but I'm just passionate about color and space and being able to make people feel comfortable and creative and inspired in their space. When I go to paint something, it's not that I don't have darkness. I have experienced very deep, dark nights of the soul and depression and you know, not nice things in life. But if I go to think about what I want to paint to give people, I want to show something that's colorful and inspiring and paints life how I wish it could be, you know, just colorful. And I use all secondhand materials, almost all. Every once in a while I'll go and buy something new and nice, but from that I've used things like craft paint and, you know, secondhand stuff that's been passed to me. And you know, red, blue, and yellow are things that are common colors. And it's also kind of around, I'm a self-taught painter, but I was taught to paint by my friends, Holly Spar and Joe Searock. And they are way more talented painters than I am. And one of the things Holly taught me is that, you know, real painters don't use black, they make black. And so I've been trying to learn how to paint better and how to use colors differently to create illusion of color. And so I've really enjoyed playing with color. You know, I'm really looking forward to continuing to play with color and tend to be more known for putting color where it doesn't belong in kind of a Lisa Frank type way. So, you know, I'm sure I'll explore other palettes, but we're just wanting to start from a simple language that we can all understand and relate from, and using cheap secondhand stuff to do it. And even in the work here, which you'll see come down, part of the texture is a extreme diversity of use of even just types of acrylic bases, or, you know, a lot of these, because they're effective canvases, I spray painted the back with cheap spray paint and, you know, secondhand, and then started using a mix of gouache and acrylic and things like that, laying it on top. Which has created some interesting textures in the paintings that I'm still learning about. I had no idea how much chemistry is involved in painting, but I really like the textures that have happened, and they are becoming interesting. And the more that I've been painting, the more I'm finding interest in like these different kind of textures, or like painting like a kitchen sponge. See what that turns into, and stuff like that. So expect more weirdness. There's an unfortunate reality with trying to become a professional artist of time, right? Of time to what you're creating. And so continuing to learn to be a more efficient painter. So that, you know, you'll see paintings if you come down to the show. The first painting I finished took 120 hours. It was in gouache. And the reality is, like, then, I mean, what am I going to do? Like, sell that for someone's kidney or firstborn child? Learning to paint more efficiently, whereas, you know, other paintings in the show have taken me maybe 30 hours comparatively to create something that I feel like is as emotional. But I really want to get into more 3D work and stuff that's more immersive and experiential. And I haven't done enough murals yet, so I always want to paint your wall if you have one. And sewing. For clothes. I really want to do clothes and tattooing and music production. I need a clone. If anyone knows how to clone, that's what I would like to know. That's a good question. When I decided to become an artist, it was with full commitment to however long it would take. And I said that if it took until 60 or 70 for me to be a recognized artist, then at least that would be worth it. You know, if I'm like that old weird lady at the party and it's like, who's the old weird lady? And it's like, oh, that's Vera the artist. That would be worth it. You know, because even though that would mean sacrifice, and I've already sacrificed a lot to give up my former life I was a successful marketing consultant with a successful business and money and a Land Rover and a normal relationship and life, and I gave all that up for this because it's something that I believe in, you know, and because to me, it's not to talk down anyone else's, what is valuable to anyone else, or anyone else's contribution, or anyone else's life. And there's a lot of days that I wish that I was simpler and different and didn't have this talent, and I could just like be chilling at home with the family watching TV. But that's not my route. It's not my life. And I said that it would be worth it to, even if this was the love that I had, even if this was the career I had and it was hard, that it would be worth it to leave people feeling better for my art and to affect people beyond myself that I don't even necessarily know or get to talk to. And like, for example, I had a friend that came in as I was setting up today, and her little daughter who's, you know, maybe 4, saw my art, and she was like, "Mommy, can I go home and make some art? Can she come over and make art with me?" And that to me is worth it. and I'm going to keep doing it and keep getting better until, you know, I get there. So stuck with me for the long haul. Might take a break here and there because I need a nap, but yeah, I'm not very good at napping, so.
Good 2-hour nap's always good.
Yeah, even then, I'm a terrible napper. It's not my best suit. I tend to overdo, but I recognize that to do this for the long haul means learning to rest and take breaks too. So. First, I would say that although this art is from me, it is not something I view as me. And so if you're feeling like, you know, who am I to, there's a really beautiful quote, Marianne Williamson in her book, it's like, I'm not going to say that's exactly right, but who am I to be big and beautiful? Who am I to be great? But if we don't let our light shine, then we can't pass that to other people. You know, it teaches us that it's okay to make mistakes. It teaches us that it's okay to explore. And sometimes when you make mistakes, you make beautiful things happen. Like French fries, which I absolutely love, and French fries and potato chips are both mistakes. And thank goodness somebody kept going. So I would just say to, you know, keep going and keep creating and leaning into what feels good. Well, I mean, once you get stuck in it, it's like it's the... I've heard from a lot of creators that are the same way, or have similar brains, where it's like, oh, just a little bit more, and then just a little bit more, and then just a little bit more. And it's 3 hours later, and you haven't eaten yet, and it's like 4 o'clock. I am so grateful for the community in Reno, more than I can possibly say. The community here is so supportive and wonderful. You know, from fellow artists who have shared space and time with me, and been, you know, incredibly generous, from like to name a few: Holly Spar, Nick Noyes, Joe Searock, Naomi Devine, Dale Slingwind, Krista with a K. There's so many artists that are, you know, have just been so amazing. And then, I mean, and that goes beyond visual art. Like, the community here is just, I'm really involved in electronic music and music events. I do stages and DJ design and event decor sometimes. For example, we had a friend that got stuck out at Burning Man last weekend. They were supposed to be coming back to do a party. I had like 4 replacement DJs and equipment within like 2 phone calls. And it's just such a supportive, wonderful community, where even at my show coming up, I'm going to be featuring a lot of members of the community, of different local DJ members and business owners, like people that have come together to help me do this. Like, I'm going to have, I've had a dream to have my art on clothes, because I don't think that art should just be on the wall. You know, even if you live in a van, you should be able to enjoy art. And so a new shop opening, Thread Pros on Wells, is helping me do some really, really cool and really high quality merch. If you are interested in meeting cool, good people, definitely make sure to come to my receptions. We're gonna have a lot of good, you know, dancers and musicians and DJs and artists, and you know, I'm so grateful. I wouldn't be an artist without Reno, for sure. And I have to give a huge shout out to my friend Jack Ryan and this lovely Mermix attire that I borrowed for this evening. He's a fabulous artist and has also taught me a lot about art and energy and positivity. And so you got to get some Mermix wear if you want to be cool. Anyway. So my debut solo show is called The Pantheon, Part 1. And it's Part 1 because this is a thought that will be to be continued. But I've had some of these paintings I started over 5 years ago. So this is a 5-year project of love. I needed to get some of these paintings out of my house and garage, or I don't have room to make new ones. So The Pantheon is about divinity and about seeing ourselves and other people around us as more divine. It's about stereotypes and, you know, helping us look at why do we hold these things as divine, or why do we look at these things, or why don't I think about this way. So my hope with this is that you maybe see something in a slightly different light than you may have, including yourself, and that you leave this with love and recognition of the divinity that's all within each of us. instead of holding up as other, like, you know, oh, the celebrity is so good at this, or I wish I was like them, or whatever. We all have godliness and divinity within us. Even as I said, I'm not like a super religious person, but and also within each other. So, for example, you'll see Gaia, who's not actually in the technical pantheon, who is a Asian American woman. And why couldn't Gaia be Asian? That painting started after I had some friends that were racially attacked in grocery stores during COVID. It's just like, how dare you treat anyone as different and other that way? You know, we all have that divine life within us, and so we have to recognize that within ourselves and within each other. And so that's what the show's about. Pictures fly by so fast, and you can take an amazing picture, and next week it's, you know, fallen by the wayside because there's more amazing pictures. But putting something in a painting really helps highlight it as something different and separate, and that these things are really truly to be, you know, held up and remembered. And even though they're just ordinary people, you know, they you know, when you put it in a painting, everybody looks really fancy. But, you know, even though these people are wonderful, and many of them are, you know, influencers in their own right, they're also just like you and me, and so you can all be the person in the painting. And so this is part one, partially because there's other paintings I want to do. You will see diversity here, but I really want to continue to expand that. And that these are mostly people that are my friends, so they're mostly in my age group. They recognize that in future versions of the Pantheon. You know, I really want to make sure I have old, young, everything under the sun. So I have actually a couple ideas of the next show. It will be something that is very different. I am going to be taking a little break to work on my next art piece as me, and that, you know, like you mentioned, the sacrifice in mental health and giving up of other things to put into this show means I need to take a little break for myself and my relationships, so I can continue to move forward in a way that I'm happy and healthy and continue to making art for everybody. So I'm very passionate about going beyond 2D art, even though you will see 2D art here, and I will continue to do 2D art. It was only after going to Burning Man and getting to be around more immersive pieces that I really got excited about art. And you know, there's kind of this like poo-pooing in fine art around some of these immersive like Instagram galleries or Meow Wolfian type spaces. But to me, it's absolutely fascinating that there's been a shift from you looked at the Mona Lisa, right? And that was it. You're supposed to look at it like, ooh, oh, he's so talented. He's so much better than me. I am small. Yeah. You know, even if it's someone and like, you know, like taking a picture of themselves in like a giant ice cream cone, whatever, and it's just for Instagram, whatever. That is completely different of now that person is thinking about composition, space, color, trying to create something. And even if it is just for Instagram, that is now them being creative and getting involved with the art and taking an action that is so much different than just looking at something on a wall. I love watching a really great, fabulous artist in Reno is Dan the Rainbow Man. And he does body painting at parties. And you'll see people be a little nervous at first, a little shy, like, you know, football Kyle being like, I don't want to do it. But then like a girl will do it who's hot, and so then he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then like as soon as he's been painted and sees himself, he's just like, new Kyle! And it's a totally different energy, you know, getting an action and participation. As a trash artist, there's kind of a secret that you can make anything look good with metallic spray paint, pretty much. Because it really takes away the composition in terms of material. Like, it's really hard to tell what something's made of when it's covered in metallic spray paint. And so it can really create interesting kind of Where's Waldo experiences where you're like, wait, what even is that? And part of it is because they're, you know, silver and gold and metallics and metal has not just the symbolism, but like our inherent like understanding of it as being luxury, right? And luxurious. And so I really love to try to do flips of things, of like you'll see a couple trash mirrors that are made with found objects that are unrecyclable plastic, that are spray painted gold and metallic colors, and it's partially to highlight, like, one, what are we valuing, and how can we value things differently to make a better planet. I've watched a lot of fights over politics and people that are so political that you can't have a conversation seems to be damaging. Discourse, I think, is important, and being able to listen is important. And I've always been very good at listening to both sides. And I don't think that we get to a better future by telling each other that we're wrong. U.S. political system as more of a show to keep everybody busy. The two-party system is destructive. As long as we're focused on what is the lesser of two evils, we're never focused on what's best. And it's really easy for those machines to just fight against each other instead of making things better. Longer presidential term limits, so then it's not just a 2-year sales cycle for presidency, and shorter term limits for Congress, and multiple party ranked voting. Dreams that I probably won't see in my lifetime. But I guess those are liberal, but the point is that I've never been someone who views myself as political or liberal or conservative, although I can see that some of the ideas and themes in my show can feel liberal, but that's not the point. If anything, the hope that I have for younger generations is that now, with increased access to education and media and knowledge, is that at least now most of us have a lot of that information and are getting on the same page of, like, okay, we gotta do something here. Not a political gal. I'm here for the art. Something I would love to let people know is that I really do believe that everyone has an art, and this really, even though I'm going to continue to work on my message and having this be for me, this is really to share something beautiful with you. And so if you feel like you could use something beautiful in your life, then please come down and come and check it out. But if I don't meet you at this reception or this gallery show, then I will see you soon with another art project. Like, that's a good answer.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry. I had a question and then I spaced it for 2 seconds. That was me when I played Minecraft for the first time.
Yeah. This is my Minecraft for sure.
Like, if I'm not hungry in the game, then I'm not hungry in real life.
It's fine. That was Kingdom Hearts for me, but I get it.
For sure. I noticed I wasn't anywhere on that list.
Okay, I gotta see more of your art. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely make sure, just to drop like a couple more notes of gratitude and appreciation, to check out the new Junkie that is opening at Reno Public Market, because she's been a huge supporter of artists, including myself, Joe, and Holly. Holly Spar's amazing haunted house opening at the National Bowling Stadium in October. She's an amazing artist and human, and they are doing some incredible stuff. As well as I said, Midtown Art and Photo, Fred Pros, and the Potentialist, of course, this fabulous spot, and Sister Savage Mystic Gallery. Also the folks at Dead Ringer, who have really supported me and other artists throughout the pandemic and onwards, and kept us working and having a safe space. It's over on 4th Street. So yeah, just want to give those folks a shout out. And let me think of else. Rachel at Wandering Wild with Reno Public Market. Cheryl and the Bliss Bus. The list goes on, and that's what's great about Reno. So I'm really grateful, and I hope to see you all here on Sunday.